Hi friends, welcome to Like Smells 31. I'm Sai Lakshmi. Hope you are doing well. In today's video, I'm going to talk about LTRIM function in Tableau. Let's get started. LTRIM function in Tableau returns the string with leading spaces removed. So, as the name suggests, LTRIM is nothing but the left trim. So, before we get to know about LTRIM, we need to know about trim. So, trim is a function in Tableau which also trims the string, but it trims the leading as well as trailing spaces removed from the string passed within trim function. But here, for example, when we have data with the uh, both the spaces, like leading space as well as trailing space, but only we want to trim the leading spaces, then we should go with the LTRIM function and use it in Tableau. The syntax is like this: LTRIM of string. So we should be passing the string inside LTRIM function to remove the leading spaces. So let me show an example and explain it to you. The example is right below. LTRIM of calculation equal to calculation. So let's identify the difference here. So there is a space here at the beginning of the calculation string, and there is a space at the end of the calculation string. So this beginning space is called leading space and the ending space is called trailing space. So LTRIM trims the, removes the leading space, but it won't bother about any other spaces within the data. So it removes the leading space and returns the calculation, but it will return the space at the end, which is nothing but the trailing space. So it will only focus on the leading space. So for example, if you have for example, in your data, if you have both the spaces but you are only focusing on the beginning of the beginning of the data, like no, you don't want any spaces at the beginning of your column or any record. uh, in that case, you should be using the LTRIM function in Tableau. So let me open Tableau desktop and show you how to use LTRIM function in Tableau. So I have opened Tableau desktop. So before that, let me show the data set I have created to explain with a scenario. So trim data set. So in my previous video, I have already used this dataset to explain trim. So this column consists of 8 records, 7 records, which has both leading spaces as well as trailing spaces. So if you observe this particular record, books has leading spaces. But if you observe chairs, it has trailing spaces. But in the next record, tables, you have only leading spaces. Here, if you observe the pens, there are leading spaces as well as trailing spaces. So let's observe the same in the Tableau desktop as well. I have used the same data set. I have created it on my own and used it in the Tableau desktop. So let me bring product to see the difference. So if you observe here, you can see clearly that there is a space before books and there is a space at the end of chairs and there is a space before chopper. So there is space before and at the end of pens, and there's no space between or at the end of stationery. So there's space between before tables. So likewise, each and every record is in a different manner because I wanted to show you how LTRIM works. That's why I've taken multiple records of different cases. Now let me build a calculation and show you what it does. So under the dataset menu or under the dataset, so we have a drop down and I have clicked on that. As soon as I click on that, a window will pop up with a list of options. The first option is create calculator field. I've clicked on that. So within the calculation window, you will be displaying all kinds of functions available. So this is all. I am selecting string because LTRIM is a string function. So let me type for LTRIM over here. So this is one way of getting LTRIM directly. If not, let me remove this. So if not, you can scroll down and find the LTRIM over here. So this is time taking. So I just typed it over here and clicked on LTRIM. So as soon as you click on LTRIM, you'll be able to see the syntax, description along with an example. So the syntax is LTRIM of string. So this I have already explained. So we should be passing the string inside LTRIM to get the spaces removed. So returns the string with any leading spaces. So leading space is nothing but the space at the beginning of the string. So this will get removed when we use when we pass a string within LTRIM and when we use LTRIM. So LTRIM of sales equal to sales. So the only difference is there is a space before sales which is passed in the LTRIM function. So we got the sales without any space. So let me write a calculation LTRIM of. So let me write some static string over here. So I have provided 3 spaces and writing Tableau, and I am providing 3 spaces at the end of the string, and I am renaming the calculation as LTRIM. This is just for your reference. I am building this calculation and I am providing a manual value. I'm clicking on OK. So let me create a new sheet and bring this calculation to text. This is in standard format. I'm changing it to fit width so that all the characters can be displayed easily. So this is hard to read. You won't be able to find whether space is there or not. But there's no space at the beginning of the kind of beginning of the string. So this is one. This is working perfectly. This is one example, but you are not sure whether there are spaces at the right of the string or not. So let me go back to this sheet and identify whether we can pass dynamic values within trim or not. So I am editing the LTRIM function and removing this manual or static value and passing product. I'm clicking on OK and bringing the LTRIM to text mark. So now you can observe there are no spaces. This is clearly visible. You don't have to kind of uh, you don't have to keenly observe this. Just by looking at this, you will be able to understand there are no spaces at the beginning of the strings provided. So, and it is difficult to pass each and every record and perform LTRIM. So, to perform LTRIM on whole set of data, you can pass the dimension for on which you want to perform LTRIM function or LTRIM operation. So here, if you observe, there are spaces in books, but here there's no space at all at the beginning. So LTRIM removes the leading spaces. So that's happening. And for chopper also there's no leading spaces. And for tables, there's no leading space. So it's working perfectly. This is how you can use LTRIM in Tableau.
Thank you guys. Thanks for landing at my channel Laxmails31. If you like my video or like my content, please like, share and let me know in the comments what could have been better. And if you have any questions for me, do let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Have a nice day. Bye bye.